Hello, guys. I'd like to welcome you back to another segment of While We Here. As you know, I go by the name of Mr. While We Here, your host with the most, Ntwana Lifika, Orebotse, Kali Ina. So, guys, today I'm all alone. Kiwani is just me and my diary. And you guys know, Gucci, when I have my diary with me, it's about to get personal. It's about to get rowdy. Little war. But anyways, I was supposed to have a guest. But this Bruel is not answering my text, no picking up my calls. So I just thought to myself, well, you know what? Let me do it myself. Let me DIY it. Let me just make this episode about me, my life. And you guys know what when I have my diary, hey, he's about to talk, he's about to preach, he's about to cook. So you guys stay chill because I do have the Norox with me and I do have the uh, six guns and I'm about to cook, because I just want to share a few things that I've written down in my diary, and let you guys into my life. Just open up about how my life has been going and the things that I've learned ever since I started with my Christian journey, and how I've been maneuvering or figuring out, this whole life thing, and who I'm becoming in this short thing called life and talk. But I hope you guys are good. I really hope you guys are good, are doing good. And I just want to say thank you for those who have been listening to each and every episode that I have been releasing, and I've been promising you guys, good, you know what, episode by episode, it's gonna get better, and I can see it getting better. I hope you, I can, yeah, I can see I'm getting better. Everything is getting better, and well, and well, my next episode, I'm gonna have a guest. It's actually an interesting one, a bit personal too, but let them on. Just want to say thank you, thank you, and we are chilling. Let me see. What does the stat say? The stat says, oh yeah. We are at 49 followers on Spotify. 49 followers, you know, and I'm proud, guys. Honestly, I just, Kalibor, like, thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for just keeping up. Thank you for just keeping up. And I know this. Thank you for believing, like, thank you for believing in this small thing that I got going on, which I'm gonna grow it. And nkaselele bale, I promise you. Nkaselele bale. I mean, ke le tshwere to my heart until guys. You guys should know that. Ke le tshwere to my heart until. So I really appreciate it, man. Let's just keep on sharing. Let's just keep on listening. And I'll keep on inviting more people and sharing more about my journey and how I've been doing. Because I've been doing great. I've been doing great. And yeah, man. Like I said, I'm aiming to have 200 followers, 200 plus followers before the end of the year. So this month in December, because my birthday is on the 1st of Jan, guys. My birthday is on the 1st of Jan, and I mean, that this would be what it would be a gift for me. The one of one. You know, yeah, thinking about it, it really makes me speechless. I have no words, but Galgopa. Let's just push this thing. Just for me, do it for me, guys. Just for my birthday. I don't want money. I don't want anything. I just want this. I want, I just want this. So if we can just get to 200 followers, 200. I mean, we were able to get 50 in less than 2 months. I mean, there's another 2 months remaining. So let's push it. Let's push it. The 50 I have, at least just try sending five people. Share it, share the episode with 5 people. Tell them, hey, can you just follow the channel, turn on the notification button, and you know, rate the show if Lanzwa. But yeah, okay, guys. So my first topic in my diary is understanding thyself or slash self-awareness. Yeah. Today, today we're talking about understanding thyself, not in a surface Instagram aesthetic way, but in a deep, uncomfortable, honest way. And I believe that true success starts with knowing who you are and more importantly, who you are becoming. So in a world that tells you who to be before you even get a chance to breathe, a world that rewards pretending, rewards performing, and fitting in, understanding yourself becomes a quiet rebellion. You see, we live in a time where it's easier to follow trends than follow your own truth. Easier to copy somebody's life than confront your own. And I'll be honest, the truth is I'm one of those people who for the longest never understood themselves. I didn't know what direction my life was supposed to take. See, I wasn't lost, but I wasn't anchored either. So in a way, I was blowing in the wind. I was moving, but not grounded. And and I tried wearing versions of myself that didn't fit, you know. I tried chasing validation, chasing belonging, trying to be who people expected, and or until it got exhausting for me. And one day I got I got to ask myself, when when did I stop being me? See, when did I really stop being Orebote and started being who life forced me to be or society forced me to be? So that's when the journey started. See, and not the journey of success, but the journey of self discovery. Because I believe that before you build a life, you first need to meet the architect, and that architect is you, Wabo. And when you understand yourself, see, when you understand yourself, life becomes easier. And not in a sense that you won't face adversity, but in the sense that you are no longer confused about what belongs in your life and what doesn't. You know what aligns with your spirit and what drains it, you know? So your yes becomes intentional and your no becomes a boundary, not an attitude. And yes, sometimes people will say, "Ish, you are arrogant or you have changed." But the truth is, you just know who you are now, you know, you know what you stand for, and you're no longer living to impress anybody. You're not shrinking yourself to fit rooms you have outgrown, and you're not pretending to be what you're not just to be accepted. And the funny thing, the funny thing is, name, sometimes we think we understand ourselves. You know, sometimes we think we understand ourselves until life shows us we don't. We really don't understand ourselves because it's those little moments, the choices you make when nobody's watching, the things you refuse to tolerate anymore, the peace you protect, that that reveal who you are becoming. you know then you sit down one day and realize, hey, no, man, no, 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 I wasn't living. I was really not living. I was performing, you know. I wasn't choosing. I was just reacting. Basically, I wasn't myself. I was who life forced me to be. And that's when self-awareness hits you, you know. That's when you start returning to who God designed you to be, and not who society raised you to be, wants you to be. You see? But again, I wouldn't have reached this point without God. Because before I could gain self awareness, I honestly needed to understand that God is the one who truly reveals who we are. You know, you can't fully discover yourself without discovering the one who created you. And I didn't just wake up one morning and figured it out. I didn't just wake up one morning and I figured it out. No, 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 no. God had to break certain things in me. You know, He had to remove certain people, humble me, and open my eyes. I really wouldn't have done it without Him. Because, hey, this life thing, man, this life thing, no balance. Honestly, it's no balance. You will lose yourself trying to make sense of it on your own. Honestly, if you're trying to make sense of this life on your own without God, you're gonna lose yourself. But anyways, I know I know for a fact that I'm not perfect. I don't always get it right. I I fall short. I make mistakes. I have moments where I doubt myself, where I question myself, where the old me tries to come back. But I just made one choice, there's one decision I'll never regret, which is I would rather walk by faith, you know, than by my own foolish side. See? So I let the Lord lead me. I really let the Lord lead me. I trust His timing. I really trust His timing, even when my patience shakes. I trust His correction, even when my ego fights it, you know. And I trust His plan, even when my emotions don't understand it. And also, I got to I got to understand one important thing, about self-awareness. Got to understand that self-awareness without God can turn into self-worship. You see, there were days where I would achieve something, and instead of giving giving glory to God, I start thinking maybe this was all me. You know, I would reach a milestone, and instead of thanking Him, I would question if He even played a role. You know, I'll start to believe, I'll start to believe that it was my own strength, my discipline, my grit, and one line. And slowly that pride started whispering, saying that, Punyas, you know, you don't need God. And that was very foolish of me, you know. And then the next time, you know, the next time I tried to achieve something bigger, I would walk with that same pride, believing in my own power and just sidelining God like that. Like, you know what? I got this. God, I got this. And let me tell you something. I was humbled, you know, because when you start acting like that, when you start walking in pride, that's when life humbles you. That's when God humbles you. You know, God will remind you that I am the source, not you. I am the source. And you sometimes, well, every time, he will punish you with lessons. He lets you see what happens when you try to move without him. He lets you feel the weight of just relying on your own self. Yeah, he steps back just enough for you to be to remember that without him nothing stands. Literally nothing stands, you know? And once I went through that, I realized something. I realized that it's very dangerous to discover yourself without discovering God, you know? Because self-awareness without him becomes self-worship, no doubt. It really becomes self-worship, You start thinking that you are the power instead of realizing that he is the power working through you. But another thing I got to realize is that self-awareness with God, turns into purpose. It turns into discipline and an alignment. You know, I don't, I don't want to just know myself. I want, I want to know the version of me God sees. And that's who I'm truly chasing, just to know the version of me God sees. So my my word is to anybody out there who's on the self-awareness journey. I would highly recommend you to do it with God. Serious, just try it with God, because self-awareness with him self-awareness with him is just great. Without him it just becomes guesswork. That's how I see it. I see it as guesswork. But with him it becomes more guided. It's like a guided discovery. With him you don't just find yourself. He reveals you to yourself. You know, with him you get to grow in truth, not in ego. You know, you gain wisdom, you get peace, you get direction. You don't just heal, man. You transform on top. With God, man. God doesn't just show you who you are, man. He shows you who you are meant to become, and he gives you the strength to become it. You see. So for me, I believe that's the difference when you doing it with God, because alone you might be able to build a life, but with God you will build a destiny. Okay, the next topic is surrounding yourself with the right people. And I just want to say, once God starts shaping who you are, he also starts shaping who belongs around you, and surrounding yourself with the right people becomes non-negotiable, you know? Because listen, you can't pray for growth and still entertain environments that feed off your old self. You can't ask God to elevate you, but stay loyal to circles that keep you small. Because sometimes the biggest blessing God gives you isn't what He brings, but what He removes. You see? And when you start when you start understanding yourself and also understanding God's God's vision for you, your relationships change. And not because you think you're better, but because you refuse to stay the same. And we need to understand this. We need to understand this, that some people are comfortable with the old you. Some people benefit from your confusion. Some people only clap when you stay below them. And God will reveal that to you. God will reveal everything to you. And I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it hurts, Sometimes it feels lonely, You start wondering, why am I drifting away from certain people? But in reality, you're not drifting away, man. You are evolving, and um, evolution always creates distance, you know, because the right people don't compete with your growth. They they contribute towards it. They don't drain your energy. They build your character. They they don't get intimidated by by your calling. They remind you of it. And when God is building you, He sends you people who sharpen you, correct you with love, pray for you in private, and celebrate your wins without jealousy. You know, He sends people who challenge your thinking, not your worth, your thinking. And sometimes the right people don't just show up until the wrong ones leave. They don't just show up and ring your doorbell. Boom, boom, hi, I'm the right person. Nope, they don't. And also I realized that you always say surround yourself with the right people, huh? But we don't talk about how hard that that really is. Finding the right people to surround yourself with. Because in reality, in reality, it's not it's not that easy to find people who genuinely want to see you grow. People who are not threatened by your ambition. Hmm? People who build with you and not compete with you. People who pray with you and not gossip about you. It's difficult, honestly, because you see, only a few will see you in your journey, starting your journey, and they will see, this bro is in the same journey that I'm in, you know, and will hit you up like, yo, I know how tough it gets when you're starting your Christian journey or your academic journey or your entrepreneurship journey, you know. But if ever you need guidance, hit me up, you know. If ever you need guidance, just hit me up. Let's talk, let's build, let's hold weekly check-ins, you know? Let's just hold each other accountable for our what's the word? Our inconsistency, you know? Let's support each other. Let's walk this thing together, you know? That level of community, that level of intentional friendship, it's it's rare. You know, it's only a few, man. It's only a few. And today, well, in this day and age, most people are too busy protecting their comfort, you know, protecting their comfort and chasing their goals. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's really nothing wrong with that. But they find it hard to extend a hand, you know, to extend a helping hand. I mean, we get so focused on our own race that we forget helping somebody else doesn't slow you down. You know, it strengthens you, you know, because there will come a time, trust me, there will come a time when you are down, discouraged, tired, you know, questioning your, questioning yourself, your purpose, and you will need the same support you refuse to give, you know, because we need to understand that helping someone grow doesn't take from you, it doesn't take anything from you, and if anything, it plants a seed for the day you will need help, you know, because life goes in circles, you know, and the same person you help today might be the same one who lifts you up when you're down, because you will have those days. We all do. We all have those days, you know, days where the motivation is gone, days where the journey feels heavy, hmm? Days where you question yourself, you know, your calling, your intelligence, your patience, and you even question your faith. And that's why the right community matters, you know, not just for motivation, but for accountability, alignment, and spiritual growth. And Luena, as a hotman or as a brew or as a person, you see that there's somebody there, you know, struggling, and they're in the same journey that you are on, but you have, you know, you have developed, you have grown, you got to understand certain things. Chief, take time. People, take time. Offer a word of advice, you know, offer your time to say, you know what, if you need anything, I'm here. I see what you're doing. You know, I see what you're going through. I see the journey you're on. I'm on that too. And Nami, you know, I myself, when I started off like you know, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't do this, don't do that. You know the ins and outs, you know. So give guidance. Don't just gatekeep. Ungazivaleli lapho you feel like uska gatekeeper. Just share, man. You know, help build once and be there, because be the right person, you know. Hans ke re right people. Ke bua le lona le be right people. You know, because I just believe that the right people don't just make you feel good, they make you better, you know, because elevation requires alignment, you know, and alignment requires courage, you know, the courage to choose your future over familiar company. Okay, the last topic in my diary is time. Yes, time. The one currency every human is given, but nobody knows how much they have. You see, you can lose money and make it a game. You can lose things or items and replace them. But time, hmm, time, once it's gone, it's gone. It never returns. And we all say, or there's this phrase that says, spend your time wisely, you know, but we don't talk about, or we don't talk enough about spending it lovingly. Because one day, the people around you won't be here, or you won't be here. And when that day comes, what will hurt the most won't be won't be the fact that you didn't buy, you know, but the moments you didn't make, the calls you didn't take, hmm? The hugs you didn't give, the encouragement you or the words of encouragement that you held back, the I love you never said. Hmm? Because I believe that memories become the only proof that we we have lived, you know. It's the only proof in this life thing, in life, that shows which we have lived memories, and the only warmth left when presence fades. So appreciate the people in your life, laugh with them, build with them, pray with them, hold them when they are low. mm? Celebrate them when they rise, clap for them. mm? Because time doesn't pause, man. It moves with or without you. And listen, I'm not talking about time like I'm somebody who mastered it. No, I'm speaking as a victim of the same circumstance. I'm still learning how to spend my time lovingly, or how to spend my time wisely. I'm still learning how to love intentionally, because the truth is, there are days I sit and cry, days where my mind drifts back and starts reminiscing about the past, you know, and I start wondering, what would life look like if that one person was still here? mm? There are moments I replay memories in my head, and I ask myself, why didn't I switch off the TV? Why didn't I switch off the TV and go sit with them? Why didn't I choose one more conversation, one more hug, one more laugh, just one more? I have felt that regret. It comes, it does visit that time, over and over and over. That sting of wishing time could rewind, just so I could hold them again, talk to them again, and look them in the eyes one more time. And I say, just, and I just say, I appreciate you for the last time. I appreciate you. But the truth is, I can't go back. I mean, none of us can. None of us can. So right now, I'm learning to work with what and who I have right now, you know? And to the people in my life today, I just I just hope you guys know that I I love you deeply. I value you. From my moms to my dad, my siblings, my cousins, my friends, and everyone who ever sat down with me and truly understood me, my thoughts, everything. Not just, a simple conversation, or not just see me and say, hey, you know, not the small talks, but those that listen to my thoughts, who saw my heart, who knew who I'm trying to be, who knew what I was thinking, or who knew I don't know, the type of growth I'm trying to achieve. Just want to say thank you, you know, thank you for everything. I really appreciate you guys, you know, and to those that I still talk to every day, to those that I still talk to every day, this time I promise to use my time wisely. This time I promise that I'm showing up with intentions, because until my time comes, I want to love loudly, show up fully, and leave no room for regret again. I want to spend time with you guys, from my girlfriend to my friends now, the people who I see every day. I make sure that I wake up, just want to, because I know that one day, I'm going to wake up and like, should have just answered the text, or I should have just said yes to saying, I mean, I wrote Lala Ball. Should have just said yes. You see? I should have just said yes. And the real question is, if your time ended today, how would you how would you want to be remembered as? Hmm? That's the real question now. Did you just exist, or did you impact? Did you fill rooms with your presence, or leave the world quietly unnoticed? Hmm? Because time is ticking. Not to pressure you, but just want to remind you that time is ticking, you know? So while we have this time and while we are here, let's use this time to love, to build, to become, understand. And lastly, before I close off, I just want to leave you guys with a quote that that I posted on my Instagram a couple of months ago. It says, take time to be thankful for everything, no matter how small it is. Be grateful to God for the gift of life. And always remember that the first two gifts you opened this morning were your eyes. Each day you wake up is a blessing, a reminder that you have been given another chance to live, to grow, and experience the world. You need to understand that gratitude shifts your your perspective, helping you see life's abundance rather than its lack. When you acknowledge the simple or the small blessings, you open your heart to deeper contentment. So I urge you to embrace each day with gratitude and watch how your life changes as you notice the beauty in the little things. And that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.